Hello, welcome to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. Today is a special edition of Tiffany Teach Tuesday. It is our 25th anniversary, and I want to talk about how the changes in the government is affecting real estate today. So it's been what, a little over 100 and some days. We've gotten a new president in the White House, and he has been writing a lot of executive orders. And what does this look like, especially in the real estate realm? What does these executive orders with these tariffs and how does it affect housing? Because housing is very important. When you think about it in psychology, Maslow hierarchy of need, the first level is safety, shelter, and security. How is that affecting you, where you live at, how you live? How does these tariffs affect you? So we're going into a recession because of the change of leadership in America. People thought that it was going to make America great again. So I don't know what was great and wasn't great. I don't know. I mean, when you think about time and progression and people moving forward, America was moving forward in a great trajectory, even though some of the morals that we had were not where we would like it to be. But in the sense of our economy, we were moving into the right direction. These tariffs, whether people want to believe it or not, will directly affect the consumer, which is us, not the people, the big businesses. They're going to make their money. They have a profit margin that they're going to meet. And if that means by passing those costs for the tariffs on to the consumer, then so be it. Because the things that we need, we're going to buy it regardless of the cost of them. But that is where the issue for us lies. Okay, so when he put the tariff on Canada, for those who haven't been watching the news and keeping up, and the reason that when he put the tariff on Canada, how it's affecting us is they provide us a lot of lumber. And this is how it's affecting the real estate industry. Canada provides America lumber to build houses. We have a housing shortage. We have had a housing shortage since the economy collapsed in 2008 with the recession. We started a housing shortage because when the economy collapsed in 2008, when the housing market fell, big corporations bought up the homes that were available for consumers, individual people to buy. They bought these homes and in turn, they started renting them out. So that depleted our inventory. Now, fast forward to 2020, the pandemic happens. We have interest rates at the lowest it has ever been in the history of real estate. Now, the people who did not want to buy homes, which are our millennials, they was like, oh, I don't want to buy a home. And the reason they didn't want to buy a home is because they saw their parents, the baby boomers and the older generation X, lose their homes. So they didn't want to be a part of that home ownership. They didn't want to have the responsibility of owning a home. So there wasn't a big need. But when the pandemic hit and they can work anywhere they want to in the world because now we're working remotely, now they're ready to buy a house because now they're confined into a small space. So it's like 72 million millennials who want to buy homes. But the homes aren't available for them to buy because the big corporations own them that they were renting out to the same population of people because they didn't want to own homes. So now you have a housing shortage because now you have the Gen X's who are of age in a better financial position buying homes. You have the millennials who's working home, working remotely, want to buy a home, but the corporations own all the homes. The builders have stopped building. And what they did build, they built for rentals because everybody was in the rental phase. So now you have all of these homes that aren't available, but all of these people who want to buy them. So now the builders are going back to building. But then we get this wonderful president in office, and he decides he's going to put a tariff on the country that supplies us lumber. And all the things that he's doing is to help the economy to prosper. The economy is not going to prosper if the people cannot even afford to live and buy groceries. So now, because the lumber prices are too expensive, we don't have enough trade skills people, because let's get this clear. The jobs that the country, that they are shipped out the country to manufacturing jobs out the country, that he's placing these excess tariffs on to bring back to America, who's going to work the jobs? We don't have enough people to work the jobs for the things that we need for the services that we're providing in America. We're short plumbers, we're short electricians, we're short carpenters. We're the average plumber is like in their late 50s, early 60s, mid 60s for a plumber. How can we build houses if we don't even have the trades to build the houses because they're up of age and the people don't want to do those jobs? So, and technology can only do so much. And they have found they're finding workarounds of not having the labor, but it's still costing us a lot to produce a house because we are short lumber. There's a lumber shortage, and the places where we're getting the lumber from has an excess tariff on it. So that's affecting the number of houses that can be built. So when there is and anybody take economics 101, when the supply is low and the demand is high, the prices of homes are going to go up. So that's where we are now. The pandemic caused the prices of homes to increase, but now the prices of homes are going to increase because we don't have enough homes, because we don't have the material to build the homes. And the cost of homes for an average person to purchase now is unaffordable. So what does that look like for us? Now, I'm going to tell you this. People that are into investing in real estate, we're going to make money in good markets and bad markets. But for the consumer who needs to buy a home, what does that look like for the future? If you don't buy a home and rather you rent, and remember, rents continue to increase. And I like renters. Why I like renters? Because renters make me money. But I also believe in building generational wealth. And what does this look like when people are buying homes in the future? It's going to take 2 incomes, maybe some people 4 or 5 incomes, to afford a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. People are going to have to start doing what we call generational living. So this is what it looks like when you say make America great again. We're going backwards, because now people are going to have to buy a house and pool their resources. So 2 sisters and a brother going to have to buy a nice, and they're looking for larger homes, which are not a lot of those available because we downsized, because we became individuals and we want our own space with our families. And now it's going to take the mother, the daughter, and the granddaughter all in a house together to be able to afford a house. So there's going to be an increase in larger homes, increase in multi-unit buildings, but we don't have the inventory. So the smaller homes, we're going to have to start consolidating the things that we buy to be able to afford a smaller home. Rents are going to go up because when cost of living goes up, we pass the cost on to the consumer. That's what people in business do. They're in the business of making money. But you as a consumer can make better decisions. You as a consumer can make better decisions with your money. If you don't own a home and you are unhappy with how your landlord does things, save your money. The number one reason most people in America aren't buying homes isn't because they can't get the financing, they can't afford it, because the mortgage payments, even with a 7% interest rate, a mortgage payment is still less than rent in a lot of these major metropolitan cities. But you can't afford the down payment. The down payment is 10% with your closing costs, down payment, all of that. It comes out about 10%. and the average home cost is $350,000, with 10% down, that means you would need $35,000 to buy a home. And the average American doesn't have $100 in their bank account. They're on check to check, and they're on credit, borrow credit, and they're continuing to put us further and further in debt. DoorDash just came out with the thing that you can buy your food on credit and pay over a period of time, like how you buy clothes, with the aftermath and the different forms of the Zazzle and all of those things. They're keeping you in debt. So my lesson that I'm trying to teach today, learn how to live by spending less, and you can gain more. Because if we keep up with the pattern that we're going towards in our spending in America, the wealth gap is continuing to spread. There is no longer, when Trump gets out of office, will be a middle-class America. It is going to be the rich or the poor. And you have to ask yourself, which side of this line are you going to stand on? And if you continue to do things the way that you have always done them, you will be on the poor side. Because in America, we are consumers. We want what the wealthy have, but we don't want to put in the work. So you don't have to start a business. You don't have to be self-employed to build generational wealth and build a level of lifestyle that you want to grow accustomed to. But you do have to have multiple streams of income, and you do have to buy what is necessary and let go of the things that you want until you get into a financial position where you can get the things that you want, when it doesn't put a financial strain on the things that you need. So as usual, I hope that I taught you something today, and thank you for always tuning in to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. See you on another Tuesday, but today is Friday because this is my special edition for our 25th anniversary. Thank you.